window. He'll be standing next to Rabbi Yaakov. He wants,
Baron, this one's for you. It's Pinchas with my matzah.
What?
Gala with my matzah.
Oh, very nice. Good for you. Wonderful. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice. Enjoy.
That crunch was real, Gershon.
That's right. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Gershon. Good. Very good.
Forget about the crop and the pickle. The crop and the matzah is what counts.
Gentlemen, there was in the one of the Hamish websites, there was an article about the Israeli archaeologists saying they found a shekel coin that was somehow connected to the base of hekdesh. It's just interesting. There are pictures of it.
Can you hear me now that I'm not on mute?
Now we hear you.
Yeah, now we hear you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't cover what was going on. All right.
You got me.
I'll leave the meeting if he's good. I left.
Okay, are we ready? Okay, sorry about this delay here. Paris, can you put on your Bluetooth?
My Bluetooth?
Yeah, thank you.
Where are we starting from?
We're starting from Ches Amud Beis. Where'd we leave off? We left off yesterday that Rabbi Yaina had a headache for until Shavuos, right? Rabbi Yaina had a headache till Shavuos for drinking the Dalet Kos. You still have me on there? By me, it's frozen.
I guess it's working.
Is he good?
Is it working or not?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we
working
hear
fine.
you. Yes, we hear you, Rabbi.
Okay, it's freezing on my end. Okay, so somebody let me know if it stops. I'm sorry.
Text me if it stops.
Around 10, 12 lines up from the bottom. Chamise chada matronisa apoy nehira. Yeah? See it? It's about, I would say 10, 12 lines up. Yeah? Okay, I'm assuming everybody has. So chamise chada matronisa apoy nehira. So there was a chashav, a lady. I mean, it's called chashav. Matronisa. It's like by the goyim, a
matron.
A chashav, a lady.
Matron.
A matron. There you go. Right. Who saw that apoy nehirin, that his face was shining. Yeah. So Amra. Yeah. So Amra, she said, Saba, right? That this older person. Hold on, I just totally lost the place. So he says, Saba, chada mehani tlas milan ispa. One of these three things that you have about you, and that's why your face is shining. Either shasi chamra, either you drink wine, either shasi chamra, or you drink wine, either malvi beribis or you lend money beribis, that's how you make parnasa, either megado chaziriyat, or you grow pigs. Right? Meaning the pshat is because, well, wine, of course, makes you happy. Right? And lending beribis and being megado chazin makes you a lot of money with no work whatsoever. Yeah, so Amrlei tipach rucha dahit, so let her blow up. Right? The tipach really rucha means let the spirit of the woman, the ruach of the woman, she should get damaged. the male and class mila less be one. Not even one of these three things do I have in me. Ella, I don't know why she deserved punishment for saying this. Right? Anybody have a shot in that? Well, why should she be punished because she said this? Right? Ella,
It's chutzpah.
It's chutzpah. How should she? She was doing it out chutzpah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. Okay, man. All right. Maybe if there was chutzpah, so fine. Ella, open ishchiachli. He said, I had the pshat is that I had a new hekdesh, open, like from the word opan. That's where the word opan comes from. So I had by me the hachik siv chachmas adam tarpan. The chachma of a person will make his face light up. Ravo asi l'tveria. Ravo came to Tveria. Chamuni talmid of the Rebbe Yochanan apei nahari, and the talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan saw that his face was lit up. Amar talmidim of Rabbi Yochanan ashkach Rabbi Vo sima. Must be Rabbi Vo found something special that his face is shining. Asal lagabe. So they came. So Rabbi Yochanan came to him. Amar lei my eraisa chad tashamas. What hekdesh? What new eraisa Torah? What new hekdesh have you heard? Amar lei Tosefta Atika. I found an old Tosefta that I never knew, and Mamela, I'm very happy. So Karalei. So he called on him. Rabbi Yochanan called on Rabbi Vo. Chachmas Adam Tarpanav. The chachmas of an Adam is going to light up his face. Yeah. So you see that actually. It lights up people's if you have Torah, so then it lights up your face. I was one of the magazines I happen to have seen over Yom Tov that somebody was they did an interview with a lot of older fellows that saw Gedolim from Europe, and one fellow said that he met the Chafetz Chaim, and he just said his face was was glowing and all that. But whatever, it seems like that's what goes on if you're legit. Okay, so Amar Rav Chana. Now we're back to the shiurim of kaisos. Amar Rav Chana. Luga daraisa, tmunasa atika de maraisa de tzipari. A lug, right?
So Yaakov, anybody who comes back from Florida with a glow on their face doesn't count, right?
L'chayra, yes. I think if you have another thing to attribute it to, then l'chayra doesn't count. That's what I would think, but I don't know that. I can't say that for sure. Right? All right, so Amar Rav Chanan.
See Yaakov.
Yeah, Luga. Yeah.
So Reb Shloimeh said on my Zayda once, he says people come back. When they had a long schmooze. When he said people come back from Florida, like Pat would come back with a tan. He says where your Zayda came back, he came back with a tan from the Alta Haim. You know, that's where he got his tan from.
Oh, yeah. Very good, very good. I guess this is a makor for that.
Yeah, it's probably
right?
This Gemara.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Very good. So Amar Rav Chanan, lugu deraisa tmunasa atiku deraisa titzipari. A lug, right, is what's a lug? So that's a shear called tumnasa, or the old shear. Yeah, the maraisa titzipari. That's what they use to measure fish in tzipari. Amar Rav Yaina v'chachmanallah. Right, and he says, I remember this. The base Reb Yanai have mechilim botvash. In Reb Yanai's house, they use the measurement for honey. Tani chatzi. We learned chatzi shminis tivaronis. Right, this half of a shminis from Tveria. Hayeshana is the old one, meaning the old half shminis. Is what we would call a rivviis. Amar Rav Yochanan. Rav Yochanan says, "Hadan didan." Oh, this is ours. This is our measurement. This is what we use as a measurement. But lama korelei atikas. Then why is it called old if we're still using that measurement? Right? Might min begin to have a viyamis since it was still around in his days. So why are you calling it an old measurement? So is the amri to have a ziri the rabsa. Some said it was small and then it became bigger. It got smaller, but it wasn't as small as it was. So you see, like we discussed this with the tzlach, right? The tzlach holds that shiurim have to be doubled. That's the whole tumult with the matzahs on Pesach by night. You see from here historically that they were concerned that shiurim dough, right? The tzlach felt that the eggs got much smaller nowadays. So what we call an egg really has to be doubled. So you see this from here that they're always trying to figure out all the measurements. Fine. What? We're going to see it in a minute. We're going to see what it's based on in a minute.
The famous Gemara is here.
Which famous Gemara?
The tzlach is based on.
Yeah. We had it already in our R Psukim. We're having it again tonight. Yeah. Kama hu shir shel kois. So what exactly is the shir of a kois? Rabbi Yossi b'shem Rabbi Yossi ben Pazi, Rabbi Yossi bar Bibi b'shem Rabbi Shmuel. And this is it right here. Etzba'ayim al etzba'ayim. It's 2 fingers by 2 fingers. Al rum etzba with the height of 1 finger. Etzba mechza 1.5 fingers. Ushlish etzba and another third of a finger.
I didn't get this in Psukim.
Right? Meaning if you would measure a rivviis, so you'd have to, using your fingers, that kois that would hold a rivviis is that size. 2 fingers by 2 fingers with a height of 1.5 plus a third of a finger. If you measure that with the way that we measure our classic rivviis, there's a huge discrepancy. Based on that discrepancy, the tzlach said it must be that are eggs, because the whole rivviis is based on an egg. So he says because of that discrepancy, it must be that the egg shrank. Okay, that's the whole thing. Yeah, Tani Yavish Kazayas Divrim Nasim. Yavish, if you have if it's dry, meaning if the wine congealed, then it has to be like a kizayas, right? Not a rivviis, it has to be like a kizayas. Rabbana the Kesari, Rabbi Yosef Bar Bibi b'Shem Shmuel. So they said Asya the Rav Nosson, right? That the Rav Nosson, Rav Shimon. Rav Nosson holds like Rav Shimon. Yeah, Kamad Rav Shimon Amar b'Rivvius, because Rav Shimon says that it's a rivviis. Kain Amar Rav Nosson b'Rivvius, like a sheyikr shviyah by kazayas. He says it's going to be when it's a rivvius congeals, it's going to be a kazayas. Fine. Rav Simon B'Shem Yeshua ben Levi. He said B'Shem Yeshua ben Levi. Ma'isa b'Pardas Rebbe, right? But it's Rebbe's, what do you call it? A mule, that it died, right? Rebbe's mule died. Now there's a thing that's called a niveila. A niveila makes things tameh, right? That's for sure. A dead animal that was not shechted is metama. The question is the blood. What about the blood? That's the Gemara Shaila here. So Rav Simon said B'Shem Yeshua ben Levi that there was a story that Rebbe's mule died, but Tiro was dama, Mishum niveila. So he was metama the blood because of niveila. B'Shol Rabbi Eliezer asked Rav Simon, and Rabbi Eliezer asked Rav Simon Akama, until how much? Meaning, what? Meaning, is it because it was less than a shear? Right? Or is it maybe there wasn't enough blood? And he didn't listen to him. He asked him this question, he didn't listen to him. Right? B'Shol Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Sort of like I was thinking, like when Naftali asks, if for more specifics, we blow him off, right? Naftali just, he's sitting here, so I can't give up the opportunity. Right? Don't have to be so specific. So he blew him off. Right? He said he didn't listen to him. Marmalay, and then he said to him, Ad rivviis tar. If up to a rivviis is tar, Yosem rivviis tamei, and more than a rivviis is tamei. Ubash the Rabbi Elazar al the lechazali Rav Simon Shmuel, and he was upset that Rav Simon didn't answer him. Right? He answered somebody else. He didn't answer him. So okay, he was upset. So Rabbi Bibi have a Yosef Masni Hadin of the Rabbi Bibi was sitting and he said over the story. Amarli Rav Yitzchak Bar Bisna. And Rabbi Yitzchak Bar Bisna said, now the question is that a kahana or not? Right? Seems like they're not good as that. Ad rivviis tar, Yosem mikan tamei. Up into a rivviis of blood, it's going to be tar. More than a rivviis of blood is going to become tamei. Ubad pei. Literally means, and he kicked him. Right? So Amarle Rebbe Zrika, right? So Reb Zrika said to him, begin to shalach at bale, because he asked you a question, so you kick him? Which would be the taina on Asu Naftali when he asks this question. You want to kick him. So when he asks, it's a taina. Why am I kicking him? Amarle. So he said, begin because the loy have a daiti be because my mind wasn't, I didn't have my das at that time. So meila, I kicked him, meaning he was busy. So he didn't have the das to answer him, so he just blew him off. And your life is going to be totally in it from opposite, meaning that's referring to somebody who has to take wheat for the entire year. And then he's going to be scared night and day. Meaning somebody whose life is hanging in the balance is when he buys the wheat for the entire year, he's got to hope that stuff lasts him the whole year. The next part of Pasuk is going to be scared night and day. That's how I'm taking it from. He goes to the store like we do, and he buys small amounts, and he has to hope that next time he wants food, it's going to be available. Sort of like for people in Orlando, hoping that the kosher food doesn't get sold out over here, right? And don't believe in your life. That's when somebody takes it from the baker, and he doesn't have enough grain on himself. He has to go buy it from takeout, which clearly the buying from takeout is how it works nowadays. Totally changed, right? But back then it was actually a bad thing. But rivviis says I'm samech on the palter. So since I'm samech on the palter, every day I'm worried: am I going to have food? Am I not going to have food? Since I'm worried, meila makes me not be able to concentrate to listen to people's questions. Okay, fine. So that's now we go back to the shaila: is the blood matama or not? What's the din? So hey, Rabbi Yeshua ben Pesach al dam niveila shutar. Rabbi Yeshua ben Pesach said edus that it's dam tar. Anytime it says edus, that means it's from idios, from the Masechta Idios. So he said it's tar. Mao tar. What does it mean that it's tar? Tar milahashir aval litmais matama. It's only tar for making something kosher, but to become tamei, it's not gonna. But to make something tamei, it will. Meaning, we had many times, right? In order for fruits and vegetables to become usher, to become tamei, it has to first get wet. So it has to be wet with the 7 of the liquids. So the question is blood one of them? So we're saying that here, we're saying the blood of an niveila is not, but it can be matam. Yes, so the Gemara asked, but we learned in the Mishna, dam hasheretz kibsarei. The blood of a sheretz is like its basar. Metama ve'ein masher. It's metama, and it's not masher. Ve'ein lanu kiyotzbei, but we have nothing else like that, right? Which means that it's only dam of a sheretz. And here we just got finished saying that every dam of niveila, it can't make things kosher to become tamei, but it itself can become tamei. So it's not just a sheretz. Yeah, so that's the kasha. So kishir tumah. When it says that, it just means that the measurement of the tumah. Shadam matama kibsari, because blood is matama kibsari. Yeah. So then when he says, so Amud of Yossi klikiba train amaroin. There are the lamaisa. It's 2 amaroim have Machlokes on chad amar tamei. One says it's tamei, chad amar tar. One says it's tar. Right, meaning the blood is always tar from an niveila. Manda amar tamei Rabbi Yehuda. The manda when it says it's tamei holds like Rabbi Yehuda. Right. That whole who paskins obviously that it's tamei. Man, Rabbi Yeshua ben Pesach. The one that says tar is like Rabbi Yeshua ben Pesach. Some of the Rabbi Duma, the min nechusa. So Rabbi Duma from nechusa said, "V'yos the Rabbi Yehuda merayna the benesiya hava." Rabbi Yehuda was the proper one because he was the meir hayra by the nasi. So Mamela, we're going to paskin like him. Right? It must be that he saw that. I don't know if it means that he saw it by Rebbe or because he paskined it, and then Rebbe must have gone along with that. Right? Which is interesting that it seems like that Rebbe had a paisik on staff. I'm saying he couldn't paskin the shilas himself. Is that what I mean? That's what it seems like. No, unless he was just one of the paiskim that was on Rebbe's bezdin, something like that.
Halacha hotline?
It sounds like it, yeah. Sounds like he may have had that. Or like in Brisk, right? The Brisker Rav didn't paskin shilas, right? Reb Simcha Zelig was the paisik. Right? I wonder if it's something like not, and that was not because the Brisker Rav didn't know, right? That's for sure. This is not because Rebbe didn't know. Okay, fine. Shema Yana v'Yomer. So we said that he has to be careful. Whoever's taking the money out of the machtzis hashekel has to be careful because people are going to be chayshirim. So Tani Rabbi Shmuel, Kovatz lo yitrim. Somebody who has long hair can't give trumah b'nei chashtan because they're afraid he's going to hide the money inside his hair. Tani hagizbaran ha'im mefasis and kilkulim. The gizbaran, right, the treasurers, right, would have loosen up their clothing. I guess loosen up the weave so that it would be almost like what do you call it, see-through, so that you could see that there's no coins hiding in their clothing. Yeah, Tani. I'm sorry, Bikilkum Tani. But Dabran Hayu Imai, right? And then what another thing that they did, it's wild. This Gemara, I found this to be wild, that how much chashad there was that people are going to steal. In the base Hamikdash, we're afraid that these guys are going to steal money. and even if we're not afraid, we're just chayshid them, right? What kind of chashad is that in the Beis Hamikdash, right? But it's unbelievable. So Medaber Nahim, so they used to speak to the guy taking the money out, Mishashu Nichnas and Shashu Yotze. From when he went in to get to the coins until he went out, they talked to him the entire time. Otherwise, they're going to be chayshid that he smuggled out some coins in his mouth. There's another thing.
In a bank, there's a lot of video machines. Why? There's where all the money is.
I hear it's a good point, but this is the Beis Hamikdash.
I understand, but there's a lot of money there.
Why not just say they're worried about Why not just say they're worried about appearances that will look like somebody think he's stealing? Why say?
I know, but what I'm saying, well, how? No, Anachanami. So we're worried about appearances, but how could it be that in the Beis Hamikdash we don't give somebody the benefit of the doubt?
Maybe this is like a bachatzos kind of situation. There's always have tinus.
Doesn't care.
I hear. Maybe you're saying it's kachatzois, not a chazois. I hear. Good. So now,
somebody could come up with tinus. So they're doing everything to take care of the one moron.
I hear. So I don't understand another thing. How much money is this guy? How many coins is he putting into his mouth?
Right? One is too many, no?
Wait a minute. Rav Tzvi Yaakov, there was gold coins, darkanois, along the way.
Oh, very good. Yeah, very good. Yes, there were more expensive coins. And even so, how much is he getting into his mouth?
Maybe a gold was $1,000. He gets 20 coins. He gets $10,000.
He's putting 20 coins into his mouth. That means you know how big his kais has to be for the dollar kaisis. You have to have a cheek full.
You see my pen, Rav Yaakov? You see my pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see it now? No, you don't see it.
Sleight of hand. Woo.
That's very good.
Have you ever thought of being a magician?
Yeah.
Slight of hand, large of beard. But it could be the chashish that he's going to swallow it, like a Mexican mule.
Oh, man. You mean your chashish he's going to swallow it?
Yeah. I don't know. Gersh, come on.
Well, you ever heard
of a
mule?
That's the way they smuggle drugs, right?
I find that hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
boy.
then talking to him wouldn't help.
That was bad.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, whatever it is, it's very fascinating that in the Beis Hamikdash that there's even this concern. Okay. Anyways, so the Gemara asks, "V'yamali tumei mai."
I remember when I learned the Mishna, Stone. They balanced the budget. They had a token for the thing.
Yeah.
So how's it going to smuggle? They would know. They would know the numbers were off, wouldn't they?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I hear. Okay, so then Gemara says, "V'yamali tumei mai." Why don't they just put water into his mouth? Right? Let him just put water into his mouth, and like this, and he's got to keep the water in his mouth the whole time. So I'm raftam chuma b'nei bracha, because what bracha is he going to make? Right?
What do you mean?
So now it doesn't. Oh, so it doesn't mean hashekel. When I thought originally, when I looked at the Gemara, I said, "Okay, it must be hashekel. Why can he make a hashekel?" Right? No, it was a no. Well, he can just drink a little first, make a bracha, and then keep it in your mouth. Right? So it's a special bracha they made, like any other mitzvah, when they were taking out, right? The what's it called? The the korban that says. If you see it says just you have to make a bracha on a frashas truma, right? So when he's taking it out, he has to make a bracha. How can he make that bracha when he has water in his mouth? Right? Fine. Why didn't they tell him to say Tehillim?
Why is it a frashas truma? What?
What do you mean? Why is it a frashas truma? Because it's a mitzvah to do it's a mitzvah to take out the. Right? Isn't it a mitzvah? Isn't he doing a mitzvah?
Well, he's paying money. He's paying money for 6 sheep. What's he do?
No, we're talking about the guy that's taking out.
The Yidden already gave the money, so the money. So what's he doing? He's just spending hekdesh money. He's not being mafresh anything. I
hear. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it was a mitzvah to take out the shkalim from there. Because we'll see that not all the shkalim were kaddish. Only the ones that he separated really became kaddish. I mean, they became kaddish, but they weren't going to be used. So only these were going to be used, which we'll see in tomorrow's daf. Next day, I don't remember. Okay, fine. Shmuel bar Nachum Shem Rav Yochanan Yonason. Your person has to be. You have to make sure that people think of you in a good way and not in a bad way. Right? The Torah Minayin Tachsiv Yisim Nikiyim Hashem and Yisrael says you have to be naki from Hashem and Yisrael. In the Via Minayin Tachsiv Kel Elikim Hashem Yisrael Hu Yeda. Right? Hashem is a Yisrael. Yikal Yisrael is going to have to know. Yeah. So that we know that pasuk from the end of Pinchas and Moses. So you have to find good things in people's eyes.
Just as an aside, that the pasuk from Nevi'im is a very interesting pasuk. There's a halach in Hilchos Safros that you're not allowed to be mafsik between two shemus Hashem. That pasuk has 6 in a row.
Yeah, I hear.
What do you mean 6 in a row? What do you mean 6 in a row?
It's very hard to write. There's no F6 for Kela Likim Hashem, Kela Likim Hashem.
Yeah. You're right. I hear. I don't know. Anyway, so Gamliel, excuse me. Gamliel Zuga Shoulder of Yosef Barabibun. He asked Rabbi Yosef Barabibun, Ezu Hamachover Shabakula. Which one is the most clear that you have to do this? Amaleva Yisim Nikim Hashem Yisrael. The pasuk from Torah, which is Yisim Nikim Hashem Yisrael. I don't understand this hekdesh exactly. Of course, the Torah, the one that's written in the Torah, is going to be the one that's the most chashuv. Right? Okay, but it's a question. How far do you have to go out to Yisim Nikim? Also, for Yisim Nikim, you don't. I think. Can we be medayik that you only have to be naki from Yidden, not from Goyim? This is a very common Corona shaila. Right? Do you have to wear masks outside when the government doesn't mandate it, even though the Goyim are going to look at you and get upset? Right? Many people ask this question. Am I mechuyev to go out of my way because Goyim are get upset? From here, it's mash only Yidden. That could be something like that, but I don't know about the Yisim Nikiyim.
It's not a chil Hashem if you do something.
That could be al chil Hashem maybe, but no. Well, how can you say it's a chil Hashem? It's not illegal. If it's illegal, then avada. Right? But if it's legal and people just get upset because they want you to be wearing a mask, so then what is that gonna? I mean, are you?
But in a religion where we twist our halakha to it's barely recognizable because we're worried about people seeing something and having a chashash, it seems a little ridiculous that that's not something that we worry about.
I hear. Maybe I'll tell you a mice that happened to me today. Okay.
School. According to every on every it was the
right. So I don't know how you do. I don't know.
Why is this
so
different?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll tell you what happened to me today. So I went to the bathroom in the airport. Okay, it's a little bit of mud and muscle, but a big guy went to the bathroom before me. There was no bathrooms available, so I had to go into to a stall. And this guy obviously went to the bathroom all over the seat. Now I went in there. The next guy coming in after me is going to think I went all over the seat. He's going to say, "Look at that guy." When it wasn't me, so I got to go clean the seat now.
Or use a different stall.
I can't once I walk out.
If that ever happens to me and I see someone waiting,
I would think you should.
Baruch Hashem, nobody was there. Nobody was in the bathroom. I was wondering because of the sugya was in my head. Now, you're not supposed to learn in the bathroom. But states are in the bathroom. That's when things come to your head. And I was wondering, I'll be Yisim Nikiyim. Nikiyim, no pun intended. I just thought that now, doctor. That was for you, doctor. Right? So I don't know. I'm saying, are you?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
You like that? Okay. It wasn't planned.
I'm not sure. For you, that was pretty good.
Thank you. It's your influence. But how far do you have to go? I don't know.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that we could agree on, doctor. That's
Yeah. Okay, whatever it is. So, but the bottom line is, but from Yidden, you do have to be. There is a point to Yisim Nikim. I told one of my kids' teachers came and complained like why my kids don't show up for school. Rabbi, you could be made on this. I went to the guy, said, V'yisim Nikiyim, I try. Don't think I'm such a eyesore. I try to get out. V'yisim Nikiyim, I called him, I was like, V'yisim Nikiyim, I do try to get my kids to school. I don't just let them take off. All right, so, all right, that was, yeah. Anyways, okay. Zazak the Mishna. Yeah. So we had a reference to this before. So Beis Rama Gamliel, so Beis Rama Gamliel, this is also another fascinating thing. So Rabbi Gamliel's family wanted to make sure that their coins got taken. So what they do, so Beis Rama Gamliel, so they would keep the shekel in between their fingers. I don't know what the meaning of that. I don't know why it has to be been. Okay, but if a zarkul lefnei atayrim, meaning when the tayrim went to gather all the coins, they would quickly throw their coins so that their coins would be the ones taken for the korbanos. But and the Torah saw it and he pushed it into the kupa. So then Rabbi Gamliel's family knew that their coins would be taken. Okay, the Gemara is going to ask what were they trying to accomplish with that, but whatever it is, it's an interesting way that they went into the base of Mikdash. This is what they did. Fine. The Torah, the one who's taking out the coins, is not allowed to take it out. What do you say?
No, this is a shvach. No, fine. I don't want to say. It's okay.
Okay, wait till we get to the Gemara on this. The Torah is not allowed to take the truma until they tell him to take the truma. I'm sorry, he asks. He says to them, should I take out the coins? This is obviously a lot of pomp and circumstance in the base of Mikdash. Right? And they tell him, take 3 times. Right? Torah Mesarishaina, the chiva bekat v'lias. What happens is that he first takes out the coins, and then when he gets out enough coins, he covers it over with leather. Hashniya v'chiva bekat v'lias. And there's the second one, and then he covers it with leather. And the shlishis, then he takes it out a third time. Lo hayeh mechapa, didn't cover it. But lama hayeh mechapa, and why did he have to cover with these leather covers? Shema yishkach v'yitram min hadavar hatarim, because he's going to forget, and he's gonna take truma from the money that's left. Meaning, once he took out money, that's it. The leftovers were not allowed to be used for a korban, which we're going to see that there is a sheet that holds that it can be, but the pashtus is that the leftover coins can't be. So they had to cover it over in order to make sure that he wouldn't mix up the old coins and the new coins. Fine. So Tanam as Rishon L'Shem Eretz Yisrael. The first truma was for the people in Eretz Yisrael because they were there first, right? They're the closest. And the second one's for the cities that surrounded Eretz Yisrael. Right? Yes. So now we're on tameh base. Yeah. Fine. So exactly what?
No.
Oh, Shal base Rabbi Gamliel. So Rabbi Gamliel, so the Gemara is asking, right? If somebody had 2 piles of fruits or vegetables in order to take truma, if the Torah and he wanted to give truma from one pile on the other pile, which is what people always do, right? You take truma from one pile on another pile. Shema loy pater chavera. Are you going to think that he's not going to pater it? Meaning, do you have to take truma from each pile? No, you take truma from one pile, and it works for everything. Right? So why did Reb Gamliel have to go make sure their coins got taken? What if you were yaitza? Once you put your coins into the pot, so then you're yaitza. Why do they have to make sure that theirs got taken? So the Gemara answers, it was just a nachas ruach. They wanted their money to go towards the first korban. Right? That was their thing. That they wanted it to go. I can't say I understand why they wanted.
I have it all the time in yeshiva. They want to say I want it to go towards a certain thing in the yeshiva. I don't want it towards the toilet paper. I want it towards something else.
So you're saying but everybody's is going towards the korbanos here. Right here, it wasn't like everybody's is not. Just some people.
It could be it was going towards the building of the base of Mikdash, the fixing up.
That could, no, but once, yeah, but he wanted to make sure that but here's a little different. Here, everybody gives coins. Not all the coins are going to end up being used, but you did your mitzvah, right? You did your mitzvah already, but he wanted to make sure his coins would be used.
It's his rivviis. It's his rivviis.
It's a zrizus.
Reb Yaakov,
Yeah.
what I want, so I'll say it now because you're siding with me. So what used to be in the old building, the guy, when the shots, especially your father, Oliver Shalom, and she lived well, Rabbi Yeager, by Shanis, the guys who would try to squeeze in and go around the bima, and I would push them away to make the circle bigger, so everybody had a chance to walk around the base range. But these chevra, besides the shots and the Rosh Shiva, they always, I had certain people, maybe even certain people who related to people on the Shia, I had problems with them over the years with that. The Rosh Shiva went and the shots. Nobody else, everybody else was a mechitin. They were all mechitin. They have to walk. They got to walk around that bima. If they don't go to the bima, they're not going to. The Zoya is going to be very upset with them.
I hear it's a good.
They couldn't care less about anybody else walking around. Yeah.
Right. So what does that say? What and if everybody would do it, you'd have total chaos.
Right. So.
Right.
We're saying this for Shvach. We're not saying it's for nice. Obviously, there was a good reason why they did it. So that's why I say it's reasons.
They're Rabbi it's Rabbi Gamliel's family. They're the good daily ador. We're not talking about Rabbi Gamliel's family. That's why it's brought l'shvach. We're not talking about them.
Yeah, but and if everybody would do this, it would be total chaos.
That's so okay.
Oh, and Hanami. So right, that's just like Hashanis would be a total chaos, which it turns into a lot of times. But Elamai, but no, one thing you do see is that a person could have a person could have I don't want to call it a juk because it's Gamliel, meaning a person could have something that he feels for him, right? Meaning, point is that especially with Pesach, everybody makes fun of people who hug him and they say that no, if somebody has a zach that he feels that he wants to, even though it's totally lifnim b'shura, then shine, as long as it doesn't negatively affect others, right? Nobody got negatively affected here. That's the way I think we have to look at it. But meaning, the musar I'm taking from it is that we can allow people, guy wants to daven a 20-minute shemana esrei kazunta, he feels that he wants to do that. Fine. He wants to make sure that he doesn't use water from the sink. Okay, shine. Whatever hanhagas you want.
The Gemara is coming with shvach or l'gnai?
I thought l'shvach.
Shvach. Go to the second daf, you'll see.
Aaron, he wants to go to Florida with his Rebbe. It's a shvach. Nothing to do with, doesn't take away from you.
That's right. There you go. Right.
But
okay, so let's see.
Take away from somebody.
I follow the
somebody else's coin is not being ahead.
You mean you are not? Yeah, but it doesn't make a difference because as long as you put your coins in, you're yotzei your mitzvah. There's no more. It doesn't mean there's no. See, that's why I think the Gemara calls it a nachas ruach.
So from the side of Rebbe Gamliel, he's taking somebody else's nachas ruach.
No, because the person doesn't care. Because if he'd care, he'd go.
Okay, I mean, it seems from his side.
I think that's otherwise. No, otherwise it's a negative thing.
Something away.
You're right. Otherwise, it's a negative thing. But if for him, he had a nachas ruach from doing this. Okay, so you have a nachas ruach, right? That's what I think. Okay, weiter. Tony. So we learned Shomad es a katvalias, right? So they put the covers over nasu kulan shirayim, and now once they put over the cover, once they pulled out, so basically the way it went is they took out all the coins that they needed, then they covered over the leather. Once they covered over this leather cover, then anything left in there cannot be used towards korbanos. Yeah, that's basically what went on here. So Tani shlishis he has ashirim d'shabakulan. The one that came out, Zevol, you said you were referring to this before. I think this is what you're referring to. That the third time that they take from on top, meaning what happened is they covered it, then the new shekels that come in go on top of that, then they take out, and then they put another leather cover, and then the new ones they take from that. So the last one had the most money in it. Because since that money that showed up late was coming from far away, and we know that it was very hard to carry all the coins, so they were paided the coins onto much larger, like we were saying, right, to much larger coins. Some meila are not larger, more expensive coins. Some meila, though, the last time that they went into the box was the most lucrative. Fine, Tani, we learned in a brayso. Torah meserishon l'shem eretz Yisrael l'shem kol Yisrael. Sure, Eretz Yisrael and Kol Yisrael. Shniya l'shem prachim l'kavim l'shem Kol Yisrael. But shlish is the same. Bava l'madei l'shem medinas or focus l'shem Kol Yisrael. That's for everybody. Fine. Tani natal min harishonos, if he would take from the first ones, and even though there was still, right, because there were 3 different boxes, right? That's what we had yesterday or 2 days ago, right? So there were 3 different boxes. So even though there were still coins left in the first box, he would jump to the second box. Natal min hashniya, and then he would, if he was taking from the second, even though sheyesh b'shniya, natal min hashlishas, and even though there was still coins left over in the second, he would take it over. He would go to the third. Shalom shalishas chayzel l'shin. Let's say he used up all the money from the third box, he would go back to the second box. Shalom shniya chayzel l'shin. And if the second one was done, then he go back to the first one. Shalom shlosh done. Once all 3 were used up, chayzel b'shaykel, they got to go get new shkalim, right? Because you're not allowed to take what was left in the box. Anything under the leather covers was not allowed to be taken. It became shirayim, and that's it. Right? Remember, for Chassidish Yid's house, so Shirayim, that's what it's in Yonah Diyam over here. So Meir Shirayim. Meir says, no, you could go back to the Shirayim. You go get the Shirayim. Because if somebody by accident, we know meilas, if you use something from hekdesh by accident. So if somebody by accident uses the coins, then he may need it in the end. Now here we go. So based on what we were saying before, now we bring one of the most famous Gemaras. I don't know if Machlokes on one of the most famous Gemaras. I mean, it's really Gemara of Zara, right? So basically, what the Mefarshim say, right? The Tikkun Chadan says this. Since with R Gamliel, and you see clearly what R Gamliel did was a shvach, since he was going above and beyond. So therefore, we bring the muster that the entire Sefer Mesilas Yeshorim is based on, right? To try and make yourself higher and higher level. Pinchas rivviis mevila de tahara mevila de kedusha mevila de anova mevila mevila de hasidus mevila de ruach hekdesh mevila de tchias mevila de elio zachar latoiv. So here it sounds like tchias hamesim comes before Elio, right? Before Mashiach. This has to do because since R Gamliel went above and beyond with his nachas ruach to throw the coins, so you see, Pinchas says that you grow as you go from level to level, right? That's what the whole mesilas yeshorim is based on this. And he finished getting kapara. Right? That he does kapara and then it becomes tar. Tar right? It was tar and then it became kaddish. Kedusha Kikoi Amar Rum Venisa Shoichin Ad Bekadosh Shemoy. That's how davening is based on Moraim Bekadosh Eshkoin Vesdako Shval Ruach. Says I'm going to be living on a very high place, but I'm also with the people that are very low down. So that leads to another. Another melody yiras chet. If you're an anov, you're gonna fear chet. Siv ekev another yiras Hashem. Because of another, you're gonna fear Hashem. Yiras chet mevili de chasidus brings the chasidus. The siv chesed Hashem yoylam v'adoylam al yirev. So I'm gonna daf. Better if you're there, right? The chesed of Hashem is forever, and it's going to go on people that fear Him. Chasidus mevili de ruach hekdesh. Siv oz dibarta b'chazayin lechasidecha. He's going to appear in a chazayin, it means a dream, but it means like a vision. Ruach hekdesh mevili de tchias hamesim t'chsiv v'nasati ruchi b'chem b'chiyisem. Tchias hamesim mevili de Elio zachar latoiv t'chsiv hine anochi shalei alchem es Elio anavi lefnei ba yoim Hashem hagadol v'hanoira. Right, so the God of that's the God of Anoira. That day is Elio Anavi, right? So meaning Elio Anavi is going to come first, and then it's going to be that great day. Fine. Tana b'shem Meir. Anybody who lives in Eretz Yisrael, umedar v'loshen kodesh and speaks loshen hakodesh, ve'aychel peirosa b'tahara and eats peiros b'tahara, right? Meaning he washes his hands when they touch liquid and all that. The kaira kriyashma b'bayker and he reads.
Does that mean also? Does it mean also making brachas?
Brachas?
Aychel peirosa b'tahara.
What does that do with brachas?
If you don't eat, no, but
no, it means you make sure that even your chulin you're going to eat b'tahara. So if you do any of these things, once I you're going to be an oilam ben oilam haba, right? You're guaranteed. I don't know if it means guaranteed. I don't know what vusser means. right? It means that you're on your way to Olam Haba. So I have one of these, right? I don't live in Eretz Yisrael. I don't speak Lashon Kodesh. I don't eat my Paris B'Tahara. I read Kriya Shema B'Bayik Averev, that I do. So I guess I got a 25% chance personally at Ben Olam Haba. Rabbi, and some of your kids have a much higher percentage, Baruch Hashem, right? But anyways, okay.
Does that mean, is this like saying there's a chiv
Okay,
to
we're
live
going to
in
stop here
Eretz
for those that want to log off. What are you saying?
Is it a chiv to live in Eretz Yisrael from this Gemara?
Sure sounds like it. I don't know if it's a chiyuv, but it'd be a smart idea. No?
Yeah.
That sure sounds like it.
Enjoy shkoyach.
All right. Okay, good night,
This
everybody.
Gemara, why isn't Yerushalmi written in Lashon HaKodesh?
Why isn't Yerushalmi in Lashon HaKodesh?
Yeah, they lived in Eretz Yisrael, and they just said if you speak Lashon HaKodesh in Eretz Yisrael, it's one of the things. Some of the Tanam and Amiram ate Chulim B'Tar. Mustam. Karish, Kriyashma, B'Blikar, B'Arev, they probably did. Chances are. Why isn't it written in Lashon HaKodesh?
Right. I thought maybe because that's what the Olam needs to understand it, no?
Well, they had a different Talmud than the Talmud Bavli. Talmud Bavli is written in Aramaic because that's the language they spoke there. What language they speak in Eretz Yisrael? They spoke Aramaic.
I don't know. I'm not sure. Why is it taught that it's like that? I always
I
understood
don't
it
know. I
because
was just
that's
thinking about that
something
today,
that
and then this came up in the Daf.
I hear. I don't know.
I mean, it's as it is. It's a different Aramaic than the one that Talmud Bavli is written in.
Well, okay, so I mean, weren't they? I thought they were doing it for the Olam to understand. That's what I understood it.
But which Olam? Who were they writing it for? The Babylonians?
Whoever the Olam was that was around.
Yerushalmi Yidden. They don't speak Aramaic. They speak Yiddish and Hebrew.
Yeah. I don't know. I hear. I'm not sure.
All right.
All right. Fine.
It doesn't look like
All right,
what
good
I
enough, everybody.
texted you earlier came true.
I don't remember what you texted me.
What?
Should be a little quieter there.
Oh, they all went inside. We're sitting outside now. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I get my.
All right, a good night. Sei gesund.
Oh, okay. Fine. Do you have time a little bit later? Oh, no, forget it. You gone.